started this evening. Again, welcome to the City Council meeting on Monday, August 15th. Thanks for everyone for being here. Madam Clerk, ready for a roll call, please.
Alderman Bolton.
Present.
Alderman Seeger.
He's got that.
Alderman Rosia.
Here. What?
Alderman Kirkwood.
Present.
Alderman Newsom.
Present.
Alderman Turner.
Present.
Alderman Rivera.
Present.
Alderman Florian.
Present.
Alderman Hayes.
Present.
Mayor Taylor.
Present.
Alderman Seeger.
Present.
You have quorum, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, I'd like to have the invocation by Julian from the Christ Episcopal Church. Is he present? I haven't seen him. Okay. Alderman Bolton, could you do the invocation for us, please?
Just bow our heads. Father God, we just thank you for that you are the God that is in control, that covers us and protects us. And it is your will and your good pleasure to give us life and joy and have peace. Bless us as we look at our agenda. Help us to govern it with wisdom and discretion. And we thank you, God, most of all, helping us get a positive outcome in agreement concerning our city. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Some mayor's comments tonight. Again, I want to welcome everyone, whether you're watching at home or here. Thank you for being part of the City Council business, and we appreciate you being here. I want to start off recognizing some well-known residents that in a heavy heart, I want to announce the passing of some well-known people in our community. The first one was a lady called Dawn Johnson, which I'm sure every person in this room knows who she was. You saw her everywhere, and she was active with the Democratic Party. She campaigned for many years. She was involved in the community with the New Manor. But you saw her at school board meetings, you saw her out in the community, and I just want to acknowledge and recognize her service to the community. The second one is a lady called Patty Davidson. Many of you may remember her. She was a retired public works employee. In fact, she was Superintendent Art Torres' boss when he started his career with the Public Works Department as a child. Last, this is a well-known woman that I know many of you will know, Julian. Passed away this weekend. She was the founder of the Waukegan-City and served over 50 years. She was the wife of Don Weekly, a former alderman in the second ward. So again, please say a prayer for them. They were well known in the community, and we wanted to make sure that everyone was aware of their passing. Tonight there was a discussion about nonpartisan elections. For those of you who were not here for part of the discussion, it was held over, so this will not be voted on at this time. I wanted for any of you that were going to speak on that, you can still speak, but it is held over, so it's not something that will be voted on this evening. I want to talk about a little bit about something that maybe some of you heard about or not. We've had a rise in car thefts, particularly kiosks. And many of you have heard about it, that if they're being stolen, they're easy to steal. And thanks to TikTok, they're really easy to steal. So I want to remind you, no matter what car you have, I want to remind you of some basic things. Obviously, take your keys with you. Don't leave them in the vehicle. That sounds very common sense, but now with key fobs, it is easy to leave them in the vehicle. Close and lock all the windows and car doors when you park, especially if you park on the street. If you can't park off-street or in a secure garage, do your best to park in a well-lit area. Never leave valuables in your car, especially if they can be seen from the car. And as, basic as that sounds, how many people leave their burnished or homeowners in their cars when they park in the garages? So again, these sound basic reminders, but I just want to make sure that you're doing that because these are, car thefts are on the rise, not just here, but throughout the country. Some general announcements in our communities. First off, I want to say thank you to all of you that are having community block parties. I've had the honor of being at, I think all of them that have been here so far. The rest of August is filled with more block parties. But it's a great way to get to know your neighbors, to get to know your community, to have discussions among yourselves of what is important for you. So again, I think it's a great thing. The weather's been fantastic for August, so please go out and be part of your community block party. I want to congratulate to Waukegan's own Dippin' Culture for being selected as an honoree of the Daily Herald's 2022 Diversity in Business Awards. Driven Culture is a fantastic socially minded coffee shop that's opened here in 2020 and has proven to be a wonderful addition to our community. I'm going to give you the address, so stop by at 2015 Grand Avenue and share your congratulations. That is Gonzalez Supermarket there. Again, they started in 2020 during COVID and are doing fantastic. More good news, if it isn't summer without fireworks, so I'm pleased to announce that the 4th of July fireworks have been rescheduled for Saturday, September 3rd at the Waukegan Harbor at 8 p.m. That's the Saturday of Labor Day, and we look forward to seeing everybody there. Again, there's been some confusion in the community that we're adding fireworks for Labor Day. We are not. This is a rescheduled event from the cancellation over the 4th of July. We had already paid for the fireworks, so we are not going to lose the money that we invested in them, so we have rescheduled them, just like many, many other communities. But it is a one-time thing for Labor Day. We're not adding that to it. Please join our Waukegan Police Department in supporting the Special Olympics this Friday, August 19th, as they hold Cop on a Rooftop at 2 Dunkin' Donuts here in Waukegan. Come and support the Special Olympics, and please say hi to our police officers on the rooftops. You can receive coupons for free Dunkin' products. I almost said Dunkin' Donuts, so they don't go like that anymore. The two locations are at Fountain Square and 21 South Green Bay Road. Members of the department will be on site from 5 a.m. until noon, so get up early and plan to be there. Saturday, August 20th. This is a jam-packed day in our community. It's filled with family events across the city. Afrofest will be at Steiner Pavilion from 11 until 8. Dandelion Wine Fine Arts Festival will be at Bowen Park from noon till 4. Art Walk will be from 5 to 9. And Great Bradbury Literary Walk will be from 6 to 8. There's also, again, I think there's 3 or 4 block parties going on in the city, so this will be a very busy weekend. The annual Black Business Expo will take place from 1 to 5 on Saturday, August 27th at Bertrand's Bowling Lanes. Come and discover and support our local black businesses. The 50th anniversary celebration of the Waukegan, I'm going to say this wrong again, Tamburitsons will be Sunday, August 28th from 11 to 5 at Greentown on the Rocks. 50 years is no small feat, so I'd like you to extend the congratulations to them. That's a long time to be part of the community honoring the Croatian heritage. The Puerto Rican Society will host their annual Labor Day Festival from noon till midnight on Saturday and Sunday, September 3rd and 4th, with music, food, and more. There's something for everyone in the whole family on those days. Again, these are great events to go to, great community events. You don't have to be Puerto Rican to go to the event. Come and join and just see what it's about. As a reminder, garbage collection will be delayed by 1 day the week of September 4th because of the Labor Day holiday. And finally, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our beach rangers as they go back to school. If any of you have noticed, our beach has been so much cleaner this year, and it's been because of the beach rangers. They have done power washing. As a matter of fact, I've even nicknamed them by accident Power Rangers instead of the beach rangers. But as they go back to doing their schoolwork, there will be less and less available on the beach. So we are looking for volunteers from the community or any groups that would like to volunteer to clean up garbage for us. Again, this is a community effort, but if you are interested in, if you have a group that's available, whether it be Boy Scouts, a work group, whoever, you can contact our lakefront coordinator, Lisa May, at 847-599-2504. And again, I want to thank everyone for being here, and that's all my announcements, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. We're going to go on to audience time. You will have 3 minutes. I'm going to make name 4 of you at a time. Go to the east side of the room. Go ahead and state your name and speak up. First, Matt Wachowski, Kathy Charity, Clyde McLemore, and William Elay. That'll be Matt Wachowski, Kathy Charity, Clyde McLemore, and William Elay. Matt, go right ahead.
Thank you. Said a lot of what I wanted to say at the Committee of the Whole, but I did want to have a few follow-ups for people who are new since the Committee of the Whole. My name's Matt Machowski. I'm the new chairperson for the Waukegan Democrats, and I spoke against the idea of nonpartisan, in quotes, elections for city positions. You know, in my view, it boiled down to transparency. I think voters have a right to have a quick shorthand way to know how candidates feel on issues, and it's about turnout. You know, a lot of studies have shown that so-called nonpartisan elections make it harder for low-income voters, make it harder for non-college educated voters to be able to come out and vote. And, you know, a couple of the comments that were made, I just wanted to kind of, you know, have my own kind of, I don't want to say rebuttal, but, you know, Alderman Mosio, you said that it was people vote for you because they know you, and that's great. I, you know, encourage all candidates of whatever party to get out and meet voters, but not every voter, we shouldn't have to require voters to meet a candidate to have a good idea of where they stand on a lot of issues. And you're right, Alderman Mosio, that a lot of candidates will run as whatever party they think will get them elected. But this last June 28th primary, Waukegan Democrats spent about $6 grand educating voters about how Alderman Turner supported George Zimmerman, who killed Trayvon Martin, and bragged about it on Facebook. And he lost that election in a 2-to-1 race, 2-to-1 vote turnout. So, you know, there's a lot of work that needs to be done to educate voters, to encourage turnout. And, you know, I think, you know, there are a lot of other things that can be looked at, you know, in terms of instant runoff ballots, in terms of petitioning requirements. You know, we need to keep the conversation going, but I think, you know, you all need more time to look at the issue. Voters need more time to educate themselves on what the impact of such a change in elections in Waukegan would mean.
Thank you, Mr. Wachowski. Kathy Charity, please.
Greetings, Mayor Taylor, City Council, and guests. First, I would like to thank Brother Blanks, FAM for the Mind, for opening up his business for a conversation roundtable this past weekend for constituents with Senator Adrienne Johnson and her team, and First Ward Alderman Dr. Sylvia Bolton. Many constituents expressed their concerns, and young people were there. Okay. So thank you, Bam. Gunshots, guns fired, gun smoke is filtering this city. Yesterday, there was a person shot between 10th Street and Lincoln, not mentioning Six Flags people shot. Waukegan need cameras on every corner in highly congregated areas. Why are blue Democrat states having these problems? Many of these states are controlled by the Democratic Party. Many private organizations and churches who partake in the 501c3 are controlled by this party for funds. They do what is told. Again, many may know what's going on, many may not know what's going on, and many don't care. But we are in a spiritual and silent warfare. Many just turned a blind eye and a deaf ear. I know this is because ABC, NBC, MSNBC, CBS, and CNN are all where they get their news. Try military, real news, the ones who's protecting the United States. DuckDuckGo.com, ask it anything, including like, who are our real leaders in government? And what's going on? Know the facts, research it. The truth will set you free from all this tyranny and so-called conspiracies. Many people live in Waukegan are not Democrats. And Joe Biden is not my president.
Thank you, Security. Clyde McLemore.
Ooh, boy. This evening, I want to start talking about 200 Julian Street. We sat here with HUD, attorneys for the owner and the mayor. 25 residents or more of this building was here speaking about the issues. Issues such as past due water bill, fix a secure entry door, homeless people sleeping in the hallway, and most important, issue of safety for the resident. Exactly 48 hours after leaving the meeting, 2 people were shot. The car was riddled with bullets. However, I noticed the owner of the property had no respect for his residents to even show up for the meeting. Mayor, on behalf of the 150 residents that live at 200 Julian, can you assign a police liaison to that building? Last council meeting, I spoke about a deposing body of 22-year-old Breonna Hass. We heard y'all say, see something, say something. Well, it was a woman here who did that, and the boyfriend who lives in the apartment where Breonna remains was found, has been questioned by Waukegan police and let go. Now, I know, if anything, he could or should be held for concealing a dead body. I realize the cause of death won't come back for 3 or 4 weeks. However, this woman who called and requested a well-being check and reported foul smell in the building, she's now scared to go to her apartment because of fear of retaliation from the guy who they keep letting go. This woman is like homeless right now. She reached out for help, none available. Breonna's family and friends seek justice for her, so last week they came to City Hall, asked the mayor for justice. Mayor, you was like a field mouse. You went from the second floor to planning and compliance to the third floor, and then you went over to the building management, just like a field rat that finds a hole to crawl in. When all you had to do was come down and address them youth. Of the conference, is the conference room not only for the residents, but instead you had Noel come down to get your car and you ducked out the side door. That was very unprofessional. Stop sending Chief Bridges downstairs. He's not the mayor. And as for your rumor that's circulating that the Democrats are paying me, I don't like the shit they doing half the time. So I'm not.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. Mr. William Ely.
It's William Ely. I'm sure most of you have heard the old saying, be careful what you wish for. You may be sorry when you get it. A friend of mine who, when he doesn't have anything better to do, who lives in Beach Park, watches the Waukegan City Council meetings. He told me about a month and a half ago that the city had sent a letter to NRG requesting that they remove the fly ash that was deposited in the swamp east of Pershing Road, north of the old tannery site, which is now a big substation. After it was deposited by Commonwealth Edison, after receiving a letter from the city of Waukegan, after a group of residents living on Circle Court came to a city council meeting and requested that something be done to cut down the number of mosquitoes that were flying around in the neighborhood. The reason I know that is because my mother, father, and myself were part of the group that came down here. As far as the dog park along the lake is concerned, I have driven US 90 between Pass Christian and Biloxi, Mississippi numerous times over the last 16 years. They have the problem of birds on the beach nesting, and they have fenced the birds off to keep them separated from people. And having walked in the forest preserves, I noticed some people are conscientious about cleaning up after their dogs, but many are not. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. The next one will be Carlos Smith, Brendan Stewart, Diana Berger, I may be wrong, I can't read it, and Brother Blanks. Carlos Smith, Brendan Stewart, Diana Berger, and Brother Blanks. Mr. Smith.
All right. This is more, I think maybe it's a lighter note, I don't know. I just opened up a business here downtown Waukegan called A Crazy Place, and also moved into an apartment right here on Washington Street. Every morning when I come outside, there's a ticket on my car. And I get it. I totally get the municipality wanting to get tighter with the meters. I'm with you guys, I get it. It's just tough for me to have to keep paying the ticket over and over when I live on the street. That's because that would require me to actually get up at like 6 o'clock and like pay a meter, and then, you know, maybe I want to stay in the house all day, I have to keep paying the meter. So that's a tough thing for me. I know that you guys have parking garages, but in the most humble way, I have a nice truck. I spent a lot of money on my truck. There's no way I'm going to park my car anywhere I can't see it. So if there can be some type of pass or like or license plate sticker or something, I don't know, for those who live downtown, so that they don't have to pay the meter so that they keep getting tickets. And the guys who give out tickets, these guys are like the police, you know what I'm saying? They ain't playing, you know what I mean? And shout out to them, because they doing their job. I'm with y'all, you know what I mean? But I'm broke, you know what I'm saying? I just spent a lot of money trying to open this thing right here, and I can't keep, paying $50 and $75 every time they feel like doing it, because they don't do it every day, you know what I'm saying? They just do it when they got the energy to do it, I guess. So if there's some type of pass or like a sticker or something, you know what I'm saying, that I can get, or people who live downtown can get, that would be amazing. Also, I know that Genesee Street is about to be a really vibrant place coming up, like this winter. It's about to be a vibrant place. Even next year, we got other businesses about to open up. It's about to be a really popping place. So if there could be some type of system that we come up with for residents, business owners, because even when the club is busting right here, I can't park nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I can't even go in the crib, but that's cool too. So if we could figure out something, work together to figure out some type of way where I don't got to keep paying for the ticket, that'd be awesome. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, sir.
Carlos, have you talked to Noel and probably Chief Zubek, because there are passes and she can fill you in on that, but then maybe Chief Zubek can help him find a spot that, so before you leave tonight, please talk.
Brendan Stewart?
Good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council. First, before I continue, I'd like to give some credit where it's due. Alderman Turner, you and I probably disagree on many things, but at the last meeting you made a point that I think is worthy to call attention to and give you some praise for. After the shooting in Highland Park, you made a mention to the fact that we have shootings in our community every single day. And we don't have access to the same resources when it comes to mental health, crisis counselors, that sort of thing that was provided to Highland Park in the wake of that shooting. So I wanted to give you props where it's due on that take. I think it's really important that we invest in our community to keep up with some of our neighbors to the south. But I also want to call attention to some things that we probably already know living in this city. Median wage in Waukegan is $11.50 an hour. Nearly 1 in 5 Waukeganites live in poverty. What I want to know is, what is the city doing to ensure that our community has those same access to resources as our neighbors to the south? What proactive plans are we putting in place to ensure that those disparities are closed? What is the city doing, most importantly, to ensure that our community is not being taken advantage of? It's difficult for me as a resident of this city to not look at some of the things that have transpired in the past number of years and see a city that is allowing corporate power to effectively take advantage of the citizens that live here. First, we had Amazon steamroll their way into the 9th Ward despite strenuous objections from the residents. Now we've got Apex Management intentionally neglecting Julian Towers. And I say intentionally because they have a profit incentive to make as few repairs as possible and continue collecting rents and continue collecting vouchers from HUD and expend as little on the building as possible. Why would they stop if no one's holding them accountable? They can continue to make money doing this until someone puts a stop to it. I hate to say it, but this administration has spent the better part of 2022 criminalizing the actions of the individual. We've had signs, for God's sake, in this chamber threatening jail time for the use of fireworks. Yet we have a management company threatening the health and safety of over 100 families right now. And the most that we can commit to from a compliance perspective is discussion sessions. It goes without saying that more needs to be done. The health and safety of 100 families or more depend on this. Look, it's the primary responsibility of a government to represent the best interests of their constituents and provide for the general health, safety, and well-being of the residents. And I would certainly like to see Waukegan do a better job in a number of those areas. From all of you in this room, do you feel better off, safer, happier, healthier, financially better off than you were 5 years ago?
Thank you, Mr. Brennan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Diana?
Good evening, City Council. I just would like to give a thanks to Chief Zupek. Thank you so much for stepping up in March 20th. North Elementary School. It was very hazardous and dangerous. In the 6th Ward, I CC'd my alderman, Chief Zupek, the superintendent, everybody who needed to be in on that email, and he was the only one who did respond. He made sure 2 officers were there. My child does not no longer go there anymore, but I still drive by. It still they have the barriers out there. So I just want to say thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. I also just wanted to extend the invite. This 19th, I fellowship at Jesus Name Apostolic Church. We will be doing a community cry out. We'll be starting on Friday the 19th at Jesus Name Apostolic Church from 7 to 9 p.m. And then a prayer walk on Saturday, August 20th. North Chicago, there will be one at Foss Park Youth Center at 9 a.m. In Waukegan, Jesus Name Apostolic Church at 10:30 a.m. And then Zion, Salem Foods at 12 p.m. So I just wanted to extend the invite for that. And I just also, again, thank you. Have a great night, and thank you.
Can you do me a favor and make sure that our public relations David Motley, there he is in the very back. Can you make sure that we have those dates so we can publicize those dates for you? Because I know people will have written them down now, but we'll be more than happy to get those out.
I can email him the flyer.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Blanks.
Yeah, Brother Blanks, Black Abolition Movement for the Mind. I just want to take the time. We had Senator Johnson came out last Thursday, and I want to thank members of the community who came out and supported that, and thank our First Ward Alderman who also made it out as well. Also, I wanted to say that many of the times when I come and I'm addressing the issues regarding pretext stops or police officers, my problem is not with the police officers. I would say this here. I can recall a couple of times when we had a couple of officers who one of the officers dropped a young man off at Black Abolition Movement for the Mind, as opposed to taking him to jail and say, I want to leave you here in the care of Brother Blanks, opposed to taking him to jail. That was some years ago. And I also recall a couple of times when the police officers stopped by BAM just to see and to talk and to chat. So I do realize that there are some good officers of all colors. However, I do sometimes have a problem with the climate and the culture and the atmosphere sometimes that is generated in the police department that new recruits might come into and get the wrong idea of what policing is. When I think about the pretext stop, I think about the $500 impoundment. Many times I come here to talk in the area of prevention. Because when I see things going down the road that they were under the $500 impoundment, it got pretty bad. Many of these pretext stops, it just got so bad to the point that people was being pulled over randomly under the $500 impoundment that was under the name, camouflaged under the name of safety, but it was all about money. And I don't want to see this city go down that low road again. So I'm speaking here to let you all know under the so-called pretext stop, yes, there was more black and brown people who suffered under those stops of the $500 impoundment. So when I come here, I'm asking you guys to make sure the climate and the culture of the atmosphere, in spite of the fact you got good officers of all kinds, but sometimes you have some that's so bad it's hard to see the good ones coming. So you have to weed that out, weed the culture out so you can have a good police department, that you can have a good relationship with your community. Because that starts with credibility and integrity on how the police department. You can't have it both ways and have cars parked on your police parking lot where officers get out the car of their personal cars that don't have front license plates, then come to the community and give people tickets for front license plates. That's just not a good look, and it causes bad relationship with your community and trust. So on that note, I'm speaking in the area of prevention. If that's some of the things to think about if you're looking to build a better relationship with your community and your police department. Thank you.
The next three, Charles Pitts, Nicole Hernandez, Rayon Edwards, Charles Pitts, Nicole Hernandez, and Rayon Edwards.
I feel historically there isn't going to be a real push for government to address the violent crimes, the shootings. When you look at it in a historical perspective, you look at, we've been having these issues like 60 to 100 years. So I was at the meeting with Eric Reinhardt, the forum, and when I got up to speak and I started listing solutions and started talking about problems, I was treated violently by several police departments. So someone comes to bring solutions and then they get attacked physically and harassed. So it just puts it all in perspective. The thing is the city has the legal ability to do things to alleviate poverty, such as having a city mandated minimum wage, like $15, $17, $20 an hour. But for the most part, it looks like we're not going to do it. Like, now look at Six Flags. They're a poverty breeder, just like Walmart, McDonald's, all of these places that refuse to pay a living wage, they're breeding poverty. Now Six Flags has a shooting. It's a very direct parallel to what they're doing and what's happening. I mean, have you forgotten about Six Flags and the hotels that they cram-packed people in? Have you forgot about it? I mean, I haven't. I mean, the international students are flown overseas and the lawyers are handling it. Another issue regarding the violent crime is substandard housing. You look at the Black Panthers talking about it, the economists will talk about it. I mean, this 200 Julian, I mean, it's like you give people a free pass. When can we get a statement from this board and or the mayor as to whether or not you think blighted conditions such as 200 Julian is acceptable? For me, the main other issue is lack of economic empowerment. We need much more available and clear ways to escape poverty. I seriously believe if the generations are getting poorer and poorer and poorer, I'm really wondering when is government going to take these issues seriously. I ask for subcommittees regarding issues, and it continuously gets ignored. I mean, it's like a disease that keeps festering.
Thank you. Nicole Fernandez?
I placed a FOIA in the new FOIA website thing, which automatically gives you a kickback. So therefore, I'm taking that as an acknowledgement that you received the FOIA. I placed the FOIA on September 1st. It was inquiring on how many residents across the city have water bills over $2,000. I suspect that there's issues with the calculations of the bills, and I have not received an official response from the city other than the kickback. So this is your notice that you have a FOIA out there from August 1st, and I expect it to be filled by next month. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rand Edwards?
Good evening, City Council, Mayor. I'm also going to piggyback on a gentleman that spoke about 200 Julian Street because we haven't gotten anywhere yet. For many years and years and years, a lot of you guys that has been on this council have been knowing about the issues at 200 Julian Street. It's bad. We don't have a city ordinance in place at all, whereas after a certain time, people can not just stand in front of people's property, hanging in the alleyways, hanging all on the sidewalk. It's nothing that can be done. I sat down there for 3 hours, and I watched the police department stand there clueless because what can they do? what law can they enforce? You have people living down there afraid, terrified. And we're not doing anything. I want to talk about what's going on in these wards and how we elected officials on this council allowing others to come into this chamber and influence their decisions. That is disgusting, and it's sad when the residents can see it and know it. Because I come to these meetings all the time, and a lot of you aldermen don't say anything. You're not engaged, you're not prepared, and or ready. And then when certain things come up on agendas, we like to talk about them. I want to address the guy for the Democratic Party who's in charge. If you think that it's not a good idea for residents to know who they're voting for, I think the Democratic Party needs some work to do. Yep. And that's part of the problem. We don't know who we're voting for. And if we don't know who we're voting for, we don't know what we're voting about, sir. So I'm expecting Waukegan to do something better. I'm encouraging you all. I've been working in the city of North Chicago. We did a petition to get an elected school board back. We've gotten signatures. We've got no signatures because we've knocked on doors. We went in and we talked to business owners. First Ward Alderman, Ms. Bolton, I've spoken with you about a pole right there on Helmholtz. Live wires hanging. They're still there, dear. Pole's still about to fall, dear. We haven't done anything. And I'm from the First Ward. And it's sad to me when I can walk through my ward and everybody don't know who my alderman is. I don't like that. We get no attention down there. Zero. And I need a powerhouse that's going to speak out loudly for where I'm from. And it's not happening. It's not. And I'm disappointed. I really am. Because if something happened to a baby, when they touch that live wire, because school is back in session, and they walk down that street. I've been asking about this for over 5 months now. Emails, text messages, and still nothing. Not even a follow-up. And so I'm starting to wonder, what are we doing?
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Rand, can you give me that address?
Yes, I was sending all the information to you with the pictures.
And Mayor, we had George Sellers and all of us, we did a call conference. This issue has been addressed more than once. Email, call conferences, all that. So and I've also talked to the property owners, so I don't know why we're having problems with this.
Mayor, that concludes the audience.
I will make a brief announcement that we are following up with 200 Julian. There has, for years, they have operated, let's say, strictly poorly is the nicest way I can put it. We are pursuing things. We had a meeting last week. There are things going on right now. I can't go into all the details of those at this point, but I will tell you that things are progressing onto the and if there was ever a need, you saw that on Saturday night. So that will be the only comment I will make on that, but it is not being ignored by the research and evaluation. Let's go on to number 4, consent agenda.
Mayor, minutes. Do the minutes?
So, what, did you want to pull something?
No, I'm sorry, no. It's in the consent agenda. I would like to add the new business, most of the items on the new business to the consent agenda with a couple of exceptions. We can do it.
We can do it either way, but there'll be some that will be pulled from the new business.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Mayor. If we could pull a couple, I'm notated 4 that we need to pull and add, then we could add all of the others to the consent agenda.
I'm having trouble hearing out of the microphone. Anybody else?
Yeah. So, no, what I was suggesting is that I identified 4 items under new business. If we pull those out, we could put all the rest of new business under the consent agenda and get through it.
I'm assuming the ones you're talking about, item under new business, item A, B, and C, and S.
And J. And S. And J and S. So,
and then wasn't there another one for finance committee? Q. So we will do a consent agenda, combining what's on the consent agenda and under new business, with the exceptions under new business of items A, B, C, J, and Q and S. Everybody understand that? Please repeat items. Now this is under new business. Items A, B, C, J, Q, and S. So S is being held over, so that's not even up for a vote. So can I have a motion to put all of that under the consent agenda?
I'll make that motion.
So that was Alderman
Moiseo and
Moiseo
Kirkland.
Everybody's in agreement.
Okay, Alderman Moiseo, second by Alderman Kirkland. Okay. We'll start off with item A on the consent agenda. Motion to approve the regular meeting minutes from Monday, July 18th, 2022. Item B, motion to approve the regular meeting minutes from Monday, August 1st. Item C, motion to approve vendor payments dated August 15th in 2022 in the amount of $827,260.74. Item D, motion to approve the regular payroll dated August 12th, 2022 in a total amount of $1,688,940.52. Item E, motion to approve miscellaneous payroll, paid holiday payback, comp time payback, elected officials and civil service stipend, promotion cash out dated August 12th, 2022 in an amount of $47,642.44. Item F, motion to adopt an ordinance approving zoning calendar number 2667, map amendment rezoning from B2 community shopping to R6 general residence for property located at 36580 North Delaney Road. This matter was heard by the Community Development Committee at their regular meeting on August 1st, 2022. Item G, motion to adopt an ordinance approving zoning calendar 2668, a map amendment rezoning from R5 limited general residence to R6 general residence at 0 North Delaney Road. The matter was heard by the Community Development Committee at the regular meeting on August 1st, 2022. Item H, motion to adopt an ordinance approving zoning calendar 2669, a conditional use permit for residential plan development consisting of 364 multifamily units at 36580 North Delaney Road. This matter was heard by the Community Development Committee at their regular meeting on August 1st, 2022. I know the developers are here. This is a wonderful development, and like I said, they have been so good at having all their paperwork in. So I just want to.
Mayor, can I also add, this is in my ward, so I feel like I need to speak up and say, not only have they had all their ducks in the row, but the city has done a great job getting this from 0 to now pretty darn fast. I think you guys would agree. I see applause out there. So thank you to the staff, Noel, and everyone who worked on this. I appreciate it. I know they do. And I look forward to a beautiful, safe development in my community, so in my ward. Thank you.
Item H, motion to adopt an ordinance approving zoning calendar 2669, a conditional use permit for residential plan development consisting of 364, did I just read that one? I'm sorry. Item A, motion to adopt an ordinance approving zoning calendar 2671, a variance on lot size requirements for motor vehicle sales in enclosed buildings in B3 district at 701 Belvedere Street, west side of the building. This matter was heard by the Community Development Committee at the regular meeting on August 1st, 2022. Item J, motion to adopt an ordinance approving zoning calendar 2672, a variance on minimum lot width for motor vehicle sales in enclosed buildings in B3 district at 701 Belvedere Street, west side of the building. This matter was heard in the Community Development Committee at their regular meeting on August 1st, 2022. Item K, motion to adopt an ordinance approving zoning calendar 2673, a variance on minimum parking spaces required for motor vehicle sales in enclosed buildings in B3 district at 701 Belvedere Street, west side of the building. This matter was heard by the Community Development Committee at the regular meeting on August 1st, 2022. Item L, motion to adopt an ordinance approving zoning calendar number 2670, a conditional use permit for motor vehicle sales in enclosed buildings in B3 district at 701 Belvedere, west side of the building. This matter was heard by the Community Development Committee at the regular meeting on August 1st, 2022. Item N, motion to adopt an ordinance approving zoning calendar 2674, a conditional use permit for auto body repair in I-2 district at 3055 Washington Street, the lower west and rear portion of the building. This matter was heard by the Community Development Committee at the regular meeting on August 1st, 2022. Under new business, skipping down to item D, motion to approve an ordinance authorizing the proper city officials to dispose of the recycled vehicles for a flat rate with auto parts. City, the matter was presented to the Public Works and Infrastructure Committee on August 15th, 2022. Item E, motion to adopt a resolution approving a modified contract for additional materials and pricing with Benoni and Magoni, Inc. through joint purchasing with Lake County, Illinois for an estimated amount of $60,000 to be spent with the vendor. This matter was presented to the Public Works and Infrastructure Committee on August 15th, 2022. Item F, a motion to adopt a resolution approving the First Amendment to the professional services agreement with Sciorra for engineering review services for an additional amount of $51,890.80, bringing the new total to $87,327.25. This matter was presented to the Public Works and Infrastructure Committee on August 15th, 2022. Item G, motion to adopt a resolution approving spending authority in excess of $25,000 by granting a good faith waiver for section 2458I-7 with core and main for an estimated amount of $54,000 for repair parts for water, sewer, and public works. This matter was presented to the Public Works and Infrastructure Committee on August 15th, 2022. Item H, motion to adopt a resolution approving a professional services agreement with Water Treatment Specialist, LLC, for operational support services for the Water Department for a not-to-exceed amount of $75,920 pursuant to the professional services exception, section 2-458I-4. This matter was presented to the Public Works and Infrastructure Committee on August 15th, 2022. Item I, motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the procurement of additional salt under the current state of Illinois CMS contract with Compass Minerals in an amount of $111,000 pursuant to the joint purchasing exception, section 2-458I-3. This matter was presented to the Public Works and Infrastructure Committee on August 15th, 2022. Item K, motion to approve the annual grant to the Waukegan Street for the amount of $25,000. This matter was presented at the August 15th, 2022 Finance and Purchasing Committee. Item L, motion to approve the 2022 Tourism Community Marketing Partnership in the amount of $32,500 with the Lake County, Illinois Convention and Visitors Bureau. This matter was presented at the August 15th, 2022 Finance and Purchasing Committee. Item N, motion to adopt a resolution retroactively approving an agreement with Interstate Power Systems Inc. for the emergency repairs to the E3 fire engine and authorizing the expenditure for future emergency repairs in the aggregate amount of $80,000 pursuant to the City of Waukegan Code of Ordinance exception of bona fide emergency waiver, section 2-458I-2. This matter was presented at the August 15, 2022 Finance and Purchasing Committee. Item N, motion to adopt a resolution authorizing city officials to accept a $200,000 grant from the Illinois Department of Human Resources to fund the Youth and Employment Training Program. This matter was presented at the August 15, 2022 Finance and Purchasing Committee. Item O, motion to adopt a resolution accepting a grant from State of Illinois fiscal year 2023 American Rescue Plan Act in an amount of $450,000 to fund programs and services to prevent violence in the community. This matter was presented at the August 15, 2022 Finance and Purchasing Committee. Item P, motion to adopt an ordinance amending the annual budget and appropriations ordinance for the fiscal year beginning May 1st, 2022 and ending April 30th, 2023. This matter was presented at the August 15th, 2022 Finance and Purchasing Committee. Item R, motion to adopt a resolution approving a professional services agreement with Deegan and Associates, LLC, for engineering, design, and procurement services for the Waukegan Beach CDBG Accessibility Project in the amount of $23,000. This matter was presented at the August 15th, 2022 Finance and Purchasing Committee. Okay, that was a lot. So at this point, can I take a roll call, please?
Alderman Bolton. Aye. Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Hayes.
Aye.
Motion passed, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Now that my reading skills are done, we'll get to the short version. Item A, this is the next three are liquor licenses.
And for the record, Alderman Kirkwood is recusing himself as he positioned as on all votes for it.
Okay, item A, can I have a first to the motion?
I'll motion.
Alderman Rivera.
Second. Second it.
Alderman Mozio. Okay, motion to adopt an ordinance creating a Class E restaurant liquor license for Mira Josico 1 LLC located at 2118 North Green Bay Road. This matter was heard by the Community Development Committee at the regular meeting on August 1st, 2022. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Bolton. Aye. Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood. Alderman Newsom.
Nay.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Hayes.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Can I have a first for item B?
I'll first.
Second.
Alderman Rivera, second. Alderman Turner. Motion to adopt an ordinance creating a Class F1 liquor license for Friendly Freeport Inc., DBA Grand Avenue Mobile at 2107 West Grand Avenue. This matter was heard by the Community Development Committee at the regular meeting on August 1st, 2022. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Was that the motion by Alderman Rivera and Alderman Turner? Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood. Alderman Newsom.
Nay.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Hayes.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Item C, can I have a first?
I'll make the first.
I'll second.
We need a first, Alderman Turner,
Yes.
second, Alderman Rivera. Item C, motion to adopt, well, any questions to the motion first off? Motion to adopt an ordinance creating a Class C retail package sales liquor license for Sinhai LLC DBA R&D Food and Liquor located at 1026 10th Street. This matter was heard by the Community Development Committee at their regular meeting on August 1st, 2022. There being no questions to the motion, roll call please, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood. Alderman Newsom.
Nay.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Hayes.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Item J. Was there an amendment or something to that?
So item J, and this was noted in the Public Works Committee, that item J, resolution or the memo to support.
Well, we need to reinsert Alderman Kirkwood.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, sorry, thank you. No, that's that we love to know all that, right?
Item J is the item regarding the long lead time purchase for Public Works.
No.
Item J.
That's Q, that's Q.
Yeah, so Peter Baker says, during the Public Works Committee, there was some discussion about the streets that were going to be serviced. And in the supporting materials, it was not a complete list. We have a list of that, Alderman Turner, do you have that list?
I do not. It was taken from me.
Oh.
Chris, do you have it?
I have it.
No, this is something.
Oh. Yeah, I thought I gave it back to you. I'm sorry. Okay.
We all have it.
It's a different one. Why don't you move on to the next item? I'll go find them in the mayor's office. Thank you.
On to item Q, there was an amendment on that, and that was from the Finance Committee, so Alderman Newsom, I'll let you update that one.
Okay, the motion should read, motion to adopt a resolution waiving competitive bidding and authorizing the purchase of long lead time vehicles and equipment for public works in the aggregate amount of $1 million. This matter was presented at the August 15th, 2022 Finance and Purchasing Committee. So it should be amended to $1 million.
Okay, so item Q, can I have a first?
I'll first.
Alderman Rivera, second. Alderman Newsom. Any questions to the motion? Okay, roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Bolton. Alderman Seager. Alderman Mozio. Alderman Kirkwood. Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Flores.
Aye.
Alderman Hayes.
Aye.
Motion passed, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Item S was held over, so we will go back to
Item J.
item J. Here we go.
All right.
So you want to talk about the streets, since that's your committee, Alderman Turner?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. There was a mix-up, excuse me, during the Public Works Committee meeting. I read off a list of 9 streets that were to be resurfaced, and there's a correction. I'll provide the corrected list, or the correct list now. The project location is the city of Waukegan intends to rehabilitate the following streets as part of their fiscal year 2023, that will be calendar year 22, road improvements project. And those streets are Lakehurst Drive from southern terminus to Lakehurst Road. It's about 600 feet. Sycamore Drive to Pioneer Court to Macquarie Road. That's 1,350 feet. Georgetown Drive / Williamsburg Drive, southeast of Delaware at Greenwood, 3,050 feet. Delaware Road, Greenwood Avenue to Sunset Avenue, that's 2,250 feet. Vermont Avenue, from Veronin Avenue to Macquarie Road, 1,275 feet. Buttrick Street, from Yeoman Street to Ferry Street, 1,125 feet of roadway. Edgewood Road will be Lewis Avenue to Macquarie Road, that's 2,680 feet. Adelaide Avenue will be Metropolitan Avenue to Evergreen Avenue, 650 feet. Nemesis Avenue will be from Frolic Avenue to Metropolitan Avenue, 650 feet. Metropolitan Avenue from Nemesis Avenue to Vermont Avenue, 550 feet. Veronin Avenue, Vermont Avenue to Vermont Avenue, 1,250 feet. I don't know how that works, but Herbert Drive It's from Windhaven Drive to New Council Road, 935 feet. The total program length, total amount of roads to be repaved or resurfaced is 16,365 feet, and this is in conjunction with the lead pipe remediation project. So as they remediate the lead pipes, they'll resurface these roads. And again, I apologize for the error in what we presented to you during the Public Works Committee. Thank you.
And to clarify, that change does not affect anything in the resolution. You do not have to amend anything, but because there was specific questions from the Alderman about the roads that would be affected by this project, Alderman Turner and I thought it was appropriate to take some time out, and Director Garland as well, just to clarify that for transparency and the public's benefit.
Some question. So the previous list we disregard totally?
No, those streets will be done, but under a different
I can't hear you.
They'll be done under, those streets that I presented at Public Works will be done under a different program, but these specifically are.
So McAllister and George?
They're on that first list?
Yes.
And they'll be
But
done.
I don't see it on this second,
No. What?
this new list.
Right, so it's not a new list. We confused the lists. The list that I read at Public Works Committee was inaccurate for this program, this agenda item. Those streets will be done, but under a different program. We'll present that at a later date. Does that make sense?
So I think I heard you say, is McAllister and George will go under a different program?
Yes, ma'am.
When you talk, it's really muffled. It sounds absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry.
So they, basically what it is they'll go under some programs that they'll be done.
It will be done.
Okay, any other questions to item J? Okay, roll call please, Madam Clerk. First and a second, we got.
Make the first.
First was Alderman Turner, second.
Second.
Alderman Newsome, and I'll read the motion. Motion to adopt a resolution approving a contract with Peter Baker and Sons for the 2023 roadway maintenance program in the amount of $3,693,457. And this matter was presented in Public Works and Infrastructure Committee at the August 15, 2022 meeting. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Mozio.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Flooring.
Aye.
Alderman Hayes.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. That concludes the business of the city. There being no ordinances, item 9 is closing item. Alderman time. Madam Clerk?
Yes, Alderman Bolton.
Okay, yes. Everyone see this brick up here? This is the original foundation of the Barwell community. I'm thankful for the Southside Market
reunion that we had on yesterday. It was full of fun and laughter and dancing. It was so good to see everyone come together. And they were giving out the bricks to the residents as well as myself. So it was a good event on yesterday on South Avenue. And then I just want to thank you all, the Park District and all the individuals that put it together. And then last, I want to thank Senator Johnson and her team. We went door to door. We met at Brother Blanks' facility. I thank you for opening your doors for that. We went door to door, inviting the community to come out to share and hear their voices about their concerns. And we talked about mental health services, things that are needed, gun violence. The floor was open. A couple of young people came. They did a musical instrumental presentation. I think he was 6 years old or something like that. He was really, really good. And thanks to Brother Blanks opening his doors, training our youth and pulling them off the street, as well as Brother Calvin that is working with you. Thank you. We did that also on last week.
I want to thank Christian Neighborhood Church. They gave a block party. They fed everyone on the block on George. They were awesome with music and entertainment. That was good last week. I want to acknowledge all our staff and department heads. You all work hard at putting together these documents, and I want to make sure that I acknowledge you all for your job well done. Then I want to thank YCC, who came out and cleaned our alleys and picking up the trash and the weeds. We got together after they worked really, really hard and diligent in eating pizza, and it's a good group of young people that are inspired to go to college and change some of their behavior. And it was also good to hear broadband. I've been meeting with the board in the ward concerning making sure our senior citizens get the technology that they need concerning broadband. Thank you for that presentation. And then also I've been talking with the Barwell community, been out there talking to our executive director about the gun violence that's going on over there, trying to go door to door, make sure everyone knows who I am. And so if you don't know who I am, please call me at 224-607-8445. And then I have another additional number. I have to read it, 847-390-2692. And of course, if you have any questions, go to our website, waukeganil.gov. It's also, I believe, a calendar out there for all our different events. Thank you.
Alderman Seeger.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody that comes down here on our council meetings, and I'd like to see more people come on down. Second of all, I'd like to send out my condolences to the Weekly family for the loss of Mrs. Julian Weekly, Don Weekly's wife. I stopped there over the weekend, presented my condolences, met with some of the grandchildren, and she's in my prayers. Also, I'd like to thank Animal Control today. They helped me out over on Dugdale Avenue. Fine job, thank you. Along with Public Works, I had a problem over on Willow Road. They took care of it. All the employees through all the departments at City Hall, I thank you for all your hard work. Everybody, from city clerk, all the employees. They work hard. And thank you, and have a good, one more thing. I want to remind everybody, don't forget, school is back in session. Slow the cars down. We got kids crossing the street, coming off buses. Pay attention. Get off the cell phones. I want to say thank you to the police department, fire department, for all their hard work. Paramedics, was Sergeant Walker, who found that lady down at the lakefront. Good job. And I want to thank the divers also. Very good job. She's alive and she's well. Thank you. Good night. Be safe.
Alderman Mozio. Alderman Kirkwood.
First of all, I want to send my condolences to all the families in Waukegan that had a loved one make their transition, especially to the Weekly family and to Johnson. Also, I like Noel. Sometime we can meet this week. I'd like to look at our long-range plans. Alderman Turner and I met with Lisa May in terms of this dog area, possibly addressing a long-range plan, looking at the possibly the south end area. But I'd like to just see what the pros and cons are, so that we can see where we are short-term and long-term in terms of doing that. There's a lot of individuals who has dogs and would like to see what we can do in that particular area. Also, with the broadband situation, it's important that all of our residents understand that free is not really free.
So we want to make sure that you're not being taken advantage of, and that's one of the purposes of our coordinator doing the things that she does. Also, there's a lot of talk about 200 Julian. Ever since I've been on this council, I've talked about 200 Julian. I've been aware of 200 Julian ever since 1975. And it's up and down. It's up and down. The mayor is well aware of the challenges that we face in trying to eradicate some of the concerns in that building. So it's not falling on deaf ear. It's just that we have to follow the right steps. And there's a lot of things happening at 200 Julian. And hopefully we can get those things corrected as soon as possible. Because every individual in the city needs to have a place to live without fear. And we're working diligently trying to get that place where it should be and not displacing 150 families. So it's not falling on deaf ear. I talked to residents, and there's some things going on in that building that should go on. Not just on pavement, but certainly there's some things that we all can do. Not just the council here, but certainly the residents, and I know that's the challenge in itself, but we're going to address those issues. Thank you.
Alderman Newsom.
Pass.
Alderman Turner.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'll try to speak up and directly into this mic so everyone can hear me. Got several things I'd like to mention. First, if I may, one of my neighbors asked me to read a letter on her behalf. It's her letter. These are her words, not mine. She would like to remain anonymous. However, she did authorize me to tell the mayor who she is if the mayor wants to know. We'll do that privately. But, quote, "Let me start by saying how disappointed I am with Waukegan's elected officials. I submitted an application on July 29th for a block party to be held on August 27th. I was very surprised to receive an email rejecting this request because I didn't give a 30-day notice. In the past, we have not done this. In the email, it was suggested that I submit another date and don't forget the processing fee. What is this processing fee? We've never had this before. Why couldn't the city give us a warning this time? We don't cause any problems. All neighbors are invited. All we wanted to do is come together as a community, socialize, and have a good time. We have people who used to live here that come back for this. We have our neighborhood watch meeting, have the police and fire department come. All are welcome. Isn't this what is encouraged to be done? You have no problem reducing the fee to get into the beach, let people park on their lawns, be an auto repair shop, junkyard, no city stickers, etc. Mayor Taylor, when was the last time you drove around the city and really took a good look? Don't you think it's time to start enforcing the laws and let people know Waukegan means business?" End quote. Just want to add to that, when we had last discussion about the block parties, I went on the city's website to look, and on the block party application, there's no mention of a 30-day lead time. So maybe we could add that note on the website when they go to apply. Number next. Hey, when can we get rid of these plexiglass thingies? They're there's problem hearing and seeing, and it's just. Not all the aldermen want to get rid of them. Okay, that's the answer. All right. Number next again. We had a meeting about 3 weeks ago or so, thereabouts, and we discussed the speed humps. Has there been any motion on the speed humps with the surveys or anything? That's what I'm asking. It's what's happening, because I haven't seen or heard anything. Okay, thank you. Another shooting in Waukegan. Surprised no one's mentioned it. They had a shooting down on 10th Street. I think that was actually in North Chicago, but North Chicago, Waukegan still. And we just had 2 people shot at, where? Julian Towers. So again, we talk about a lot of things that really don't impact, have a direct relevancy to the way we live and the quality of life in Waukegan. And I'm going to ask for help here, okay? So for 13, 14 years now, I've been offering this 6th Ward Rewards program. Last year, I extended that across the entire city. I've only, in all those years, I've only given out one reward. It was for a woman who saw a shooter. She got her children to safety. She called the police, and she directed the police directly to where that shooter was, and I was, happy to award her the $500 reward. What I'm asking for is that maybe we can add my reward program. I can't seem to publicize it enough. I'm not getting enough attention. Maybe we can get that up on the city's website, email system, however we can do it, but I need help publicizing the rewards program. So in the 6th Ward, we have a dumpster drop, the 6th Ward cleanup for the 2nd one this year, and that's going to be on Wednesday, August 24th, 1700 block of North Ash. That's underneath the power lines, and that will be from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Again, that's Wednesday, the 24th, and then on Saturday, August 27th, it's that time again, free ice cream. We have our annual 6th Ward Ice Cream Social, 1320 North Jackson Street. You don't even have to get out of your car. You can just drive by, pull up to the curb, give you free ice cream, or you can get out and enjoy some music and conversation, sit around the yard. So all are welcome, and I hope that many of you will attend. Thank you for your attention. Good night.
Alderman Rivera.
Pass.
Alderman Florian.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I just want to announce that I'm going to have a ward meeting in September. The details are still being finalized. I think it's going to be on the 15th, but I will know for sure at the next meeting, and I will get the message out. I'm also going to try to do a dumpster sometime in October on a Saturday. I know people like Saturday mornings because they're off work for the most part. So we'll do the dumpster on a Saturday in October. I want to thank the staff again about their diligence with the Delaney Point development. I think the gentleman, the team doing it has been very impressed with how that process went, and it just shows that when you have your ducks in a row and you come prepared, things happen the way that they're supposed to, and I appreciate that. Lastly, I feel kind of bad that at our last meeting and so far at this one, no one else but the mayor has addressed the situation with Alderman Kirkwood, and I just wanted to say that I support what the mayor said. I understand he is innocent until proven guilty. But I do believe that this is a huge distraction for the people in the 4th Ward and the aldermen. And I agree with the mayor that it's my most sincere hope that he puts his constituents first during this difficult time. Thank you.
Alderman Hayes.
Couple of things. I'm also working to get a dumpster. It'll be sometime in the early fall, and we'll try to make it on a Friday or a Saturday, a time that's convenient for everybody, and we'll make sure we have enough dumpsters lined up this time. Second, I just want to throw this out there to the community. It came up, but the city has received some grants. There's a $450,000 grant for violence prevention and a $200,000 grant for job training and youth employment. So I would encourage anybody from the city who has any suggestions on how the money could be spent or available resources or programs or really just any constructive ideas on what the city can do to deploy the funds in the most productive and efficient way possible. We talked during the committee meetings about different possibilities. I have more ideas. I'm open to talking about them. But I think it's really important that we have an opportunity here to throw some money. It's not going to solve these problems, and they're not going to be solved overnight and maybe not even in a generation. But it's a start. It's a way for the city to come together with some of the nonprofit groups or just motivated residents who have an idea. So come to us, present your idea, and let's see if we can make something happen. Other than that, have a nice night.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.